Alright, so in the last video we looked at intersections that are inside the circle. With this one we're going to be looking at intersections that are on the circle. So when I look at a situation like this, we're going to create two arcs. In this case we have an arc AB that's going to relate to angle 1, and then we have an arc BCA which is going to relate to angle 2. And the way this relationship works is if I take half of this arc, it's going to equal angle 1. And if I take half of whatever this arc is, it's going to get me angle 2. So in this case, I want to find out what DEG is. So I want to find out what that angle is. So we're going to be taking half of this arc that's related to it, which is 308. So we're going to take half of 308, and that's going to give us what that angle measure is. And that angle measure is going to be 154. Now the cool thing about this is if I look at this as 154, then I could even say, I'm not asked, but this is bonus coverage, I could get this to be 26. But the big one is that we were just trying to figure out what this angle is, and that's going to be 154. In this one, we're trying to find out what DBC is, which is this angle right here. I do not know what this arc is. I could probably figure it out, but I can. But I could also find out what this angle is. I know that half of 192 is going to get me this angle. So half of 192 is 96. So I know that angle ABD is 96. And if I wanted to figure out what angle CBD would be, or DBC in this case, I could just take 180 and subtract 96 from it, and you would get that angle to be 84 degrees. And that would be what you're looking for, 84. Okay? Looking at this next one here, same idea. We're trying to find XY. XY is right here. I do not know what this angle is, but I could find it. I can find out what this angle is. It's VXY. So 180 minus 151 does get me 29 degrees. So right now I know that this angle right there is 29. And I know that this arc is half of this angle. So I've really thought about it. I'm taking half of something, and it's going to equal 29. Well, what is that something going to be? Or what is that XY going to be? I guess I could say half of XY is going to equal 29. Well, that's going to turn out to be XY being 58. So in this one, we're trying to find out what KNM is. I know what this angle is. It's 23. And so that means that this angle is going to turn out to be 157. Okay. So I know that that's 157. And I know that half of KNM is going to equal 157. So KNM is going to equal 314. 314 degrees is what that one is. Now, if I look at exterior relationships, when I look at these two angles, they are intersecting outside. We are taking the difference of those two arcs, and that half of the difference of those two arcs. So we're taking half of CE minus BD. Same idea here. We're going to take half of whatever BD is, and then subtract BC from that. And then for this one minus this one. So if I look at this case, I'm trying to find KLM. I'm trying to find this angle. So I'm taking half of 140 minus 66. And so I'm taking half of 74. And that's going to get me 37 degrees. For this one, I'm trying to figure out what BCD is. This right here. So in this case, I know this arc. I know this as much as 94. I also look at this. This looks like that's a diameter. So I know that this is going to be 180 degrees. So that means that this little arc is whatever 67 and 180 and 84 are away from 360. And that's going to turn out to be 19. 19 degrees is what that is, okay? Now to find BCD, we're going to take half of 67 minus 15. or 19. And that's going to get us that arc or angle of 24. Okay, we'll do a couple more here. I'm just trying to find out what KLM is, this one right here. So we're taking half of 140 minus 66, arc minus arc. And if I take half of that value, well, we did this one already. Well, we're doing half of 74, and that's going to give me 37. We did these two already. Okay. So I'm going to pause it for a second. I'm going to ask you guys to try those questions for me, and then we'll talk about them. Okay, guys, so I asked you guys to try to look at these questions for me. And so when I looked at this, guys, for number 13, I know I'm looking at this arc and this arc. So I'm trying to find the difference of those two. That's why I got x minus 75. Half of that difference is going to equal 40. So when I solve that, I got 155. And then we would do the same thing with this one. We got 46 and this arc, which we'll call x. We're taking half of those two arcs, and it's going to equal 35. I get it to be 116. In this case, I am trying to find KLMN. Here's one arc. This is the other one. So I'm taking half of the difference of those two, and I would get it to be 51 degrees. In this case, it's very similar to what we looked at earlier. So I got 88, I got 62. The rest of this would be 210, and I'm taking half of that difference, and I would get it to be 74. Okay? All right, guys. So I'm going to ask you guys to try to finish the rest of this. I will post answers online for you guys just to help you out, but have a great day.